Hello monsters and monster enthusiasts, I'm Monster J Art and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I want to teach you how to shade using eyeshadows over body paint. Some of you may think, well, that's not really complicated, you just take your eyeshadows, apply it over your body paint, and that's pretty much it, right? Wrong! The problem is that even if you use high quality makeup brushes and makeup products, you can still end up with really patchy results that are hard to blend. So in this video I want to share with you my top 3 tips in order to shade with eyeshadows over body paint without it looking patchy. Before we jump into the subject, just some quick reminder, you can give a like and subscribe to the channel for more art tutorial and art related videos. You can also follow me on Instagram to see pictures of my makeups and my drawings, and you can find the link in the description. So that being said, let's talk about how to shade with eyeshadows over body paint without it looking patchy. We're now in overview mode for this demonstration on how to shade using eyeshadows over body paint. So first I want to talk about the product that I'll be using. I will use the Marin Paradise paint in white for the body paint, and for the eyeshadow I will use this Makeup Forever eyeshadow in gray right here. So before showing you the proper way of doing it, I want to show you the wrong way of doing it, or also known as the way I was doing things when I started doing makeup. So basically it's the intuitive way. So when I started, I was just like, hey, I just have to pick eyeshadow and apply it on body paint and blend it. And I can tell you, even I'm using MAC brushes like a 224S, and even if you have good makeup brushes, you can still get disappointing result. So I was just picking my eyeshadow like that, applying it first where I wanted the color to be the deepest, and then slowly bringing it toward the middle to make a gradient, and sometimes going back. And as you can see, I mean, you can see it's still a gradient, but it's not great, it's really patchy. And here, I cannot really blame the quality of the material that I use. This is good quality brushes and eyeshadow. But there's a lot of issues about doing it that way. One of the main reasons why it's so patchy is because body paint is still sticky. Even if it's dry, it's still stickier. So sometimes you do need to do some adjustment in order to prevent the patchiness. Also, you need to take some other measure to make sure that the eyeshadow that you're using is not overly pigmented, which will help to enhance the patchiness. So now that being said, I'll show you the proper way of doing things. So now let's talk about the proper way of shading using eyeshadows over body paint. The first step, or the first tip, if you ever listen to my makeup videos, the one where I'm doing my makeup and doing a voiceover commenting on the different steps, you've probably heard this sentence a lot of time, and it's setting your body paint with a matching color of eyeshadow, and that's what I'll do here with white. So I'll be using this MAC eyeshadow single and shade Gesso, and normally for that I love to use a fluffier or a brush that is a little bigger because generally I have a wider area to cover. So I just grab the eyeshadow and I apply it. Since it's my base color, I do want to get a lot of pigment on my brush. The reason of doing this is because I want to, first of all, I want to remove the stickiness of the body paint. So by setting it with a powder, it will help the other eyeshadow not to stick as much. And secondly, since I'm already applying white body paint, white eyeshadow, when I'll be applying the gray eyeshadow, it will not be as strong because it will blend, it'll be dampened by the white eyeshadow that I already applied beforehand. So that's the reason why it's so important, and I'm always putting so much emphasis on setting your body paint with a matching color of eyeshadow. Then the second tip, if you're doing beauty makeup, or if you have been doing beauty makeup for a long time, you probably already know about it. But if you're like me and you never did beauty makeup in your life, you may not know about it. And it's when you're picking your eyeshadow on your brush, it's really important to tap tap, remove the excess. So you can see there's, I mean, you cannot really see it that much on camera, but there is some gray that fell on my paper towel. And yes, it's important to remove the excess, because otherwise when you apply your eyeshadow, where you really put your brush first, it will look darker and it may look way patchier. So by removing the excess, you make sure that it's less patchy and there's not one spot where it's more fully pigmented. So for the rest, it's pretty much the same thing. You apply it on the place where you want your color to be darker. I love to go gently with a motion like this, and then you bring your color toward the middle. You may need to do this step a couple of times, and if you think it's a little too dark at some spot, you can go back, use the white eyeshadow on the other way and bring it toward the middle as well, so it will help to dampen the color. The third tip is sometimes it is still a little too dark, so that's why I have another brush that is I call it like my dedicated eyeshadow eraser. So here I'm using a Sigma domed blending brush. So basically with this brush I never put it directly in the pan of any color of eyeshadow. I try to keep it as clean as possible, and I use it or to blend or mostly to remove the excess. So I just go over it and I remove the excess of eyeshadow, and then I rub it on the paper towel to, you kind of see it a little bit here, to clean it. And you can do it on the whole surface or just on the place where you really apply too much eyeshadow. But yeah, having a dedicated brush to remove the excess on the body paint is also a great tip. So here I'll just re-add a little bit where I want it to be darker, bring it toward the middle. You can do this step many times until you get the desired result. So basically the 3 tips I want you to remember for shading with eyeshadows over body paint is: first, set your body paint with a matching color of eyeshadow. Secondly, when you pick your eyeshadow from the pan, do that tap tap to remove the excess of eyeshadow. And finally, if you want to remove the excess or to blend a little further, have a dedicated brush that you never put in your pan and that you clean on your paper towel to use as an eraser to remove the excess. So these were my 3 tips on how to shade with eyeshadows over body paint. And this is how you shade using eyeshadows over body paint without it looking patchy. So do you have any other question about this technique, or do you have any other question about cosplay makeup and body paint in general? If so, you can leave it in the comments down below. I often answer these questions, or I use them to inspire me to make other videos or makeup tutorials. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!